Hello, Taurus, my bull gang. I'm Jen with Timeline Tarot. I do hope that you're doing well today. Taurus, let's take a look at your tarot card for the week of October 26th, 2025. I've set the intention of this reading to be for Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. So if you have Taurus in any of those placements, odds are there's a little message in this reading for you. Also, keep in mind that this is a collective general reading. It is not individualized nor personalized to you. Messages may come through today that do not fully resonate. And if that happens, don't get upset. Just means that one message is meant for someone else watching. So take what fits, how fits, leave what doesn't, and don't forget to check out your other placements. With all of that said, let's begin. Tapping into the beautiful Taurian energy now for Taurus Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. What is Taurus's tarot card for the week of October 26th, 2025? What is their tarot card for the week? Get one more shuffle here for you, Bull Gang. And thank you. Your tarot card of the week, the Six of Pentacles. What situation, environment, or connection in your life needs more balance? At the bottom of the deck, you have the Hermit. What situation, environment, or connection in your life is asking you to look within? So there's something here in your life, Taurus, that is not balanced. Let's get into tarot. Now, if you have not seen this reading before, Taurus, this is not what you don't see coming. I've already released those videos for the week ahead. This reading, the tarot card of the week reading that I do, is to help you, to help all of us, really, on our journey. It gives us a question, something to think about, something to ponder, so we can then make the decision that is best for us at this time, and that will help move us along in our journey, so we don't become too stuck or too stagnant in any area of life. So your tarot card of the week is the Six of Pentacles. What situation, again, environment or connection in your life needs balance? So something's out of balance here. And this is what Source wants you to focus on this week. I just saw the Ten of Pentacles, the Eight of Swords, and the Three of Wands. We'll see if those cards want to come out. So that Ten of Pentacles card, that could be in regards to house and home, family, relationships, partnerships. Could also be in terms of your job. Tell me more about this here, please, for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. Why is the Six of Pentacles their tarot card of the week? One more shuffle here. Thank you. First card out, you have the Seven of Cups, followed by the Chariot, the Two of Pentacles, there's your balance, and the Page of Wands, there's your inquiry. You have Seven of Pentacles, you have Four of Swords, whoa, and you have the Ten of Swords. Six of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, Knight of Cups. I feel like you continue to give. You continue to give towards a certain, I'll just call it an energy, because I don't know if this is in your professional, personal, or platonic, or even like romantic connections. I don't know if this is in regards to career and finance, or your community, or love and romance. But there's something here like, despite your doubts, fears, and insecurities, or maybe even uncertainty about whatever or whomever this is, you continue to progress forward in that Three of Cups. You're constantly giving that Ace of Pentacles. And I feel like you're doing that because you want to be victorious with this. You want to be victorious at work. You want to be victorious with your coworkers or your employees if you're a business owner, right? You want to be victorious with clients and lovers or lover. I don't know how many you have, just saying. And there's just something here of like wanting to give and wanting to give in equal measure and wanting it to be reciprocal, but there isn't. And I kind of think that you know this already because your energy out of the gate is the Seven of Cups. And it's like, again, these doubts, fears, and illusions. And despite them, I'm going to keep pressing forward with that Chariot, with the Two of Pentacles. I almost feel like I'm speaking to a group of Taurians that you keep hitting a brick wall with whomever this is. And you're like, well, if I just keep showing up and I just keep investing, everything will balance out in the end, in the Two of Pentacle energy. And I feel like the more you do that, the more you're faced with the Ten of Swords. Because it's like, the Seven of Cups is like, I think it's balanced, or I want to believe it's balanced, but it's really not. But I'm going to forge ahead, because if I keep forging ahead, the Chariot being the fastest card in tarot, it's a card and energy that speaks of great determination. If I just keep doing this same thing over and over and over again with this entity, it will eventually balance itself out. And I feel like Source is telling you it's time for you to kind of wake up from the illusion here of that Seven of Cups, which is the Neptune and Pisces placement, which makes us believe that it could make us believe that if we continue to do the same thing over and over again, it will yield a different result. However, the very definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result when there is no different result. So this week, Source wants you to go within. Page of Wands to that Hermit. Go within and contemplate and discover this thing and this entity or this relationship, whatever this is. You keep investing in it, but it doesn't seem to grow, or it doesn't seem to invest back in you. And then there's some type of heartbreaking moment or disappointing moment that results from that. And you end up in the Four of Swords, because that's what precedes the Four of Swords is the Three of Swords. And it's like, well, I don't understand why this didn't work out, right? You can see this person looking at the Pentacles. I don't understand. I keep investing pentacle after pentacle. And then it's like, oh, it's like another blow. It's another blow that it didn't work out. I didn't get the raise. I didn't get the promotion. I'm not getting reciprocity. And whether that's time, love, money, whatever from someone. And then it's like the state of contemplation. Well, what can I do differently? It must be me, right? Maybe I'm not giving enough. Maybe I'm giving the wrong way. And I think what you're failing to see is you overgiving. It will not compensate for what the other person isn't giving to you, because your energy or your love is still not being reciprocated, and it's still in some ways an act of betrayal here. So I almost feel like Source wants you to go within this week, Taurus, and really contemplate, what is this about? How does this pertain to your life? And it's almost like you need to realize that at this point, and I'm not saying this other entity is right for doing this, but it's almost like you're betraying yourself by continuing to give to whomever, whatever this is. What is this for Taurus? I know it's a collective general reading. It'll be different for all of you, but what is this that Taurus keeps giving to? And if it's not a particular situation, environment, or connection, it could just be the archetype. So maybe this is the way you show up in your friendships. You overgive. Doesn't matter who the friend is. Overgive, overgive, overgive. And meanwhile, they're not there to help you when you need to move, or, you need something installed and you know that they can do it, but they don't do it. And it could be even a romantic partnership for some of you. I don't know. But the feeling here energetically is like, it would not be fair to you. I mean, you could do it. You have the divine gift of free will, but why would you want to commit this act of betrayal against yourself by like overcompensating for what this other entity isn't giving to you? This is like working 80 hours a week for a company that only pays you 40 hours. And you're like, well, I did another week of 80 hours and they still only paid me for 40. Maybe next week I'll work 85 hours. Maybe then they'll pay me for the 85 hours. And it's like, nah, that's not working either. So like, what are you going to do? Like at that point, you're like betraying yourself, right? Because you're overgiving to an entity that's just not valuing you enough. And that has no reflection of you. That's their inability to value you, right? So there's something like that. Like you overgiving will not auto-correct this situation. What is this for Taurus? One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Fool, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Six of Swords. Well, it's something you keep doing on repeat. It's almost like every day is a new day to start again in that Fool card energy. And then you're like, okay, I'm just going to get right back to work in that Eight of Pentacles and hope that I can progress this situation forward. Because what precedes the Six of Swords is the Five of Swords. So there's conflict here. Could be conflict between you and this entity. It could just be internal conflict to you. In the Six of Swords cards, we have four swords on one end of the boat, and then towards the individual is two swords. So I almost feel like every day you have the opportunity to make a decision to not put yourself back in that Four of Swords and what precedes as the Three of Swords, right? And yet you don't make that decision. You just kind of forge forward. And again, we have the Hermit card here. Hermit to the Ace of Swords to the Nine of Swords. 9 plus the Ace is 10 of Swords. There's something here you really need to go within, Taurus. We've got Three of Cups here. I mean, for some of you, this is in regards to a partnership, or again, it could be friends or like a friend group. But there's something here that you really need to go within and say, why am I continually doing this? It is an act of betrayal. It is an act of betrayal to my Tauruses. And I'm going to say two things about this. One, a low vibrational Taurus, because you are the Empress in Tarot. And a high vibrational Taurus will know that they're the Empress, and they will not overgive, and they will not chase for someone to give them what they rightfully know they deserve. But a low vibing Taurus would be like the Empress in the reverse. And the Empress in the reverse would be an individual who doesn't know their self-worth. And by not knowing their self-worth, it's almost like enabling people to take advantage of their good nature. You're an extremely giving sign. I say all the time, I have no Taurus placements. I don't want to be accused of that. My person's not a Taurus. My best friend is a Taurus. And I can see it from Kyle's, advantage point also. Tremendously giving. And it's why I call Taurus the backbone of the zodiac. My ex-husband is a Taurus as well. And we've remained very good friends since the divorce. Without a doubt, the backbone of the zodiac. But sometimes that backbone needs to straighten up. There's a one thing of saying, I'm going to be the workhorse in this situation, environment, or connection. And then there's another thing in saying, I'm going to be taken advantage of in being the workhorse. There's one thing with wanting to power through with victory, if you have someone who is assisting you with that, not when you're giving your all. Because when you're giving your all, at some point, the back is going to break, right? The back is going to give out. And so I feel like you're allowing someone or something here to take advantage of your good nature. And maybe for some of you, it has to do with your self-worth or self-esteem. Maybe somehow you have correlated what this entity gives you to your self-worth. And because they're not giving you equal measure, it's lowering your self-worth, and therefore you're feeling inclined to give more than you should. Wow, that took a different direction there, but that's the message that someone needed to hear. Don't take it if it's not yours. Let's get you 3 cards of advice here, Taurus. 3 cards of advice here for my Taurians. What should Taurus do about this? What should they do about this? Or how can they help to remedy this? One more shuffle here. Thank you. What can you do, Taurus? Wheel of Fortune, 6 of Wands, and the Emperor, which I love, like Emperor, Empress energy, right? I don't read body parts. There's something here about you taking control of this, you realizing your worth. Damn it. Damn it, Taurus. You are the Emperor, Empress of your life. And this is how you should be respected. And I'm not saying that people need to come along and kiss your feet like, you're the creme de la creme, although I'm sure you're spectacularly wonderful. But there is something here about knowing your worth. The Emperor knows their worth. And they don't overgive. They don't overgive. I feel like, we have a full moon in your sign on November 5th. And I think that this could very well be a game changer here for you, Taurus. But it's going to require you to do the work this week. It's almost like final exam time for Taurus. How are you going to show up in this next lunar cycle for yourself, since the full moon is in your sign? Are you going to know your worth and value and show up differently and show up more confidently, right? 6 of Wands is Leo energy, and it does speak of confidence. So are you going to show up in the next lunar cycle being a more confident you and knowing what you deserve and knowing when to give and when not to give and when to pull back your energy? Or are you going to show up the way that you have been? And I feel like that's why this question came up for you this week, because we are rapidly approaching the full moon in your sign. November 5th is next week. So this is the opportune week for you, Taurus, to really figure that out. And I think once you do, and you stop giving to whomever or whatever this is, that's when I kind of feel like the scales of justice will be balanced. And the justice card in Tarot is Libra, and you also share the ruling planet of Venus with Libra, and you're both represented by the Empress. So I definitely think that there's a correlation here for you. There's something here that's out of balance. I typically see the 6 of Pentacles as like a combination of Libra and Taurus, even though that's not the astrological placement for it, because typically we see the scales of justice in the 6 of Pentacles card. So there's definitely something here, and I think the 6 of Pentacles might be the second or third decan of Taurus as well, but I don't want to get into that too much. But your advice here, Taurus, is that you have a new lunar cycle quickly approaching, and this week is an opportune time for you to really go within and contemplate about what this is, and do you want to keep repeating this cycle, or do you want to show up differently and show up knowing your worth and let the chips fall where they may? But at least you can stand solid in your worth and in knowing your value, and not allowing anyone to minimize who you are or what you bring to the table. That's what I have for you, Taurus. That is your tarot card of the week for the week of October 26th, 2025. If you like those messages, they resonated with you, you want to claim all or part of them, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to check out your other placements. And until I read for you again, I'm wishing you light, love, and peace.